Power outages are increasing throughout Florida as Hurricane Irma moves closer and closer there to the state. Joining me now on the phone is the Palm Beach County Vice Mayor, Melissa McKinley.
Good evening, Molly. How are you?
Good evening. We are doing well. We are all thinking of Florida right now, thinking of you and your community. How are things right now? We're hearing the power outages are beginning to kick up. We know that you guys are on the east side and the storm has moved more up the west, but that does not mean that your area is out of danger.
No, it absolutely doesn't. We've got about 31,000 utility customers without electricity right now. I expect that number to continue to rise. We've got about more than 17,000 people in our shelters here in Palm Beach County. We've had the squalls coming in pretty steadily since about 8 o'clock tonight, and the winds and the rain are getting harder as I speak to you on the phone.
You know,
I think it's...
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I think it's important, your meteorologist just reported, this storm is 400 miles wide. People keep paying attention to where the eye of the storm is going to cross over. But it's so important for people to not let their guard down. We still expect hurricane-force winds on this part of Florida. That brings tornadoes and other situations. We just need to be careful.
Yeah, the tornadoes, the high winds, that can cause power outages, of course, but also downed lines. And so often we hear of storm-related deaths happening in the wake of the storm and what comes afterwards, when people are going out and they're trying to clean up the devastation and they run into something unexpected. One of the other big dangers is flooding. So you may not be right immediately hit by the eye, but as those bands come across and you see those high winds and the flooding. So what are the greatest concerns you have for your community?
I've got two concerns right now. We've got the western part of Palm Beach County surrounds Lake Okeechobee. We have assurances from the Army Corps of Engineers that the dike will hold. So we're just hoping that continues to be the situation. We're not looking at any flooding conditions. We did do a mandatory evacuation there. And our other concern kind of came up as the storm shifted west. We have a lot of folks over in Fort Myers that we're thinking about evacuating across the state over here to West Palm Beach. And because of those mandatory evacuations that we had around the lake, we have shut down the hospitals in that region. So there are no emergency rooms open between Fort Myers and Wellington, Florida. So anybody crossing the state, if they were to have any sort of emergency while traveling, we don't have a place for them to go. And so it's important now that the storm's getting closer to shore that everybody shelter where they are and just make sure they're in a safe place in their community.
When you talk about that, it raises a big concern. And of course, when we've seen these big storms, Florida really does take care of neighbor taking care of neighbor. We've seen that again and again. Is that the type of thing that's lined up right now? As you look ahead at the storm and the potential for damage and the potential for loss of life, are communities working together to share resources, to get ready to move in assets wherever the damage is the greatest?
We're under all sorts of mutual aid agreements right now. We've helped Monroe County out today with some of their jail population that needed to be relocated. We took them into ours. I've been in constant communications with my partners over in Hendry County, with our state senator Elizabeth Benaquisto over in Lee County. I've got to say Governor Scott's done a great job. He's had coordination calls every evening with all of the county commissioners from across the state, and we're all trying to help each other out as much as we can.
All right, and Governor Scott has been so clear that people should be taking care of their families and getting out of harm's way as much as possible. Palm Beach County Vice Mayor Melissa McKinley, thanks for joining us here tonight. We appreciate it here, really in the dark of night, for you taking a few minutes out to inform the public and to talk with us. Thank you.